So hi there, it's Dylan from EatWild, and Rob and I are on our way on a 10-day sheep hunt. We're hunting off the Alaska Highway, and we've been doing a bunch of research to figure out what we got to put in our packs for a 10-day sheep hunt. So I thought this might be a useful short video for you to at least take a look at what we're thinking, and hopefully we got it somewhat right, and we'll be able to tell you how well we did after we make our way up the mountain and back. Anyways, I'll walk you through what we've got going on. I've got a 75-liter Arc'teryx pack. I'm using the Arc'teryx pack because it's fairly light, it's well made, and I think it'll do everything I need it to do for this trip. We invested in a tent. It's about 4.5 pounds. It's an MSR hubba, and awesome little tent. Lots of ventilation, but still pretty sturdy and very light for the quality of shelter it is. Got a thermarest. It weighs just a little over a pound, and my sleeping bag, and it's a few pounds. The case turns inside out, and you can use that as a pillow. I've got gaiters, of course, which I'll be wearing on the hike up. I've got my main jacket, which I'll bring. I'm going to bring rain gear, a lightweight shell and pants for wet days. It's really important when you're on a long trip like this that you don't get wet. So being able to whip out some light rain gear during the trip, if you see some rain coming on, is really important. Make sure you put it on before it starts raining. I've invested in these 3-ounce Croc shoes, which I'm looking forward to stepping into after a long day in my boots. You can also use them for crossing rivers. Occasionally you'll have to wade across a river, and it's nice to have something on your feet to keep your feet off the rocks. I've got a cover for the outside of my pack to keep everything nice and dry inside my pack. Again, you don't want to, if you get rained on, of course, your pack's going to get rained on. And if all your gear inside your pack gets wet, then you're equally as screwed. I bring one lightweight insulative layer. It weighs a little over a pound. It's a little down jacket, which I also use as my pillow. I'll use my ski poles to help stabilize me as I'm climbing up and down the mountain. Not only does it make backpacking so much easier, it makes backpacking so much safer. Just having 4 points of contact, especially when you got a heavy load. I learned to use, or I started using ski poles for hiking late in life, and I wish I'd learned this a lot sooner. I've got some other gear. I've got my safety kit here, which has got a couple lighters, an extra headlamp, some extra batteries, a candle for starting fires, a couple large garbage cans, garbage bags, and a few pieces of rope, and my whistle. So this kit sort of stays at the bottom of my pack. It's also got a space blanket in there for emergency situations. I brought a repair kit. Inside my repair kit, I've got a couple of bandages, got my hunting license, and I've got some patches and some glue to patch my thermarest or our tent if we have a blowout. And I got a little sewing kit in there just in case. I've got my a little bag full of stuff that I use fairly regularly, like my bug net. We're expecting bad bugs on this trip, so I've got a bug net, my daily use headlamp. I have 2 headlamps with me. One is the one I keep in my safety kit that I leave untouched throughout the whole trip, so that it's ready if I need it in an emergency situation. I got my regular headlamp that I use during the evenings to read or whatever at night, or to make dinner late at night when the lights are out. We're not expecting a lot of. It only gets dark after 11 tonight. It's actually about 10 o'clock right now when we're doing this, so we're not expecting a whole lot of dark hours on our trip, and it gets light at 4. So probably not going to use a lot of headlamp time. I've got a lens cleaning kit for my optics. We're going to spend a lot of time looking through our spotting scopes and binoculars, so I've got a lens cleaning kit in here that I expect to use regularly. Because we're expecting to lay around on the mountain a lot, I bought a book. We may wind up laying around in the tent quite a bit if it starts to rain. So having a book that to read over a couple hours for a few hours is going to be handy. As far as optics, I'm bringing my Leica binoculars, 10x42s. I've got a spotting scope and tripod. I've also bought my camera to document it. I've got my iPhone as well, which I'm taking because I'm able to store some maps on there, some Google Earth images, as well as use it for taking photographs and shooting a little bit of video for you guys as well. I've got my EatWild butt pad, my foam pad to sit on while I'm spotting. And I've got, of course, maps of where we're going. I've got some 1 to 20,000 topos that we've printed off. I've also got a bunch of images of Google Earth for the area that we're going into to sort of help us with our route finding. I've got my necessary kit with some wet wipes and a little bit of ibuprofen and a few other bits and pieces of a toothbrush and toothpaste. We're expecting bad bugs, so I've got a bottle of DEET with a little cloth to wipe it down. Of course, bathroom tissue. I got one knife with me. I'm gonna go with the Swiss Army knife because it's got a small saw on it as well as a blade and a few tools that may come in handy. When it comes to food, this is where we spend a lot of time thinking and working on how to keep our weight down while maximizing the amount of calories we're going to pack. For every couple days, I've got about 100 grams of sausage per day, of dried sausage that hopefully won't rot over the course of the trip. We don't have refrigeration, so I was looking for sausage products that would keep even in warmer temperatures. I'm taking about 50 grams of cheese a day. I'm bringing about sort of a couple hundred grams of nuts and chocolate bars for each day. So this package will be good for about 2 days for me. For each evening, I'll have one of these backcountry freeze-dried meals, which will be a lot of food. And I've got a couple of packages of oatmeal for my breakfast that I've hopped up with a few extra bits of flax seeds and stuff like that to get me going in the morning. So a few more things to talk about here. We're going to go with a little jet boil stove, which is a really simple system for heating water. That's in the bottom of Rob's pack right now. But all I need for a kitchen on this trip is a cup, a spoon, and a light bowl. We don't have to use a lot of dishes because we're using these backpacker meals which you put the hot water right into and eat right out of them. So pretty simple system. As far as clothing, again, trying to keep our weight down. What I opted to do is just take one change of clothes for basically one extra pair of socks, an extra pair of underwear, long underwear, and a long sleeve shirt. My thinking is that it'll be warm enough in the days that we could probably wash our socks and underwear in a creek and dry them out. I am bringing one pair of shorts if it does get warm enough and I can't wear my camouflage pants up the hill. I've brought a little bit of a bug mesh for my face, gloves, a toque, and a little neck warmer. And I've got a little towel that I'm bringing up. It'd be nice to, on a warm day, to be able to have a little bit of a bath in a creek. What I've done here is I've just taken all this stuff and I'll stuff it inside of a game bag. You may want to have a game bag while you're up there. Of course, if you harvest an animal and you'll want to put the meat inside of a game bag, but for now, I'm going to stuff it inside of, put my clothes in there for now to keep things organized. You can also use the game bag for a pillow as well. Last thing, I'm going to have water here. I've got some water purification tablets. I've got a small 2-liter bladder that I'll bring as well. And then my water bottle, which I've got a little bit of duct tape on the outside in case I get a blister or need to tape something up. So all this gear, when I stuff it in my pack, it turns out to be about 50 pounds of gear. So that, along with your rifle, which is going to be about 8 pounds, and your box of bullets. So I'm expecting to go up the hill with about 60 pounds of gear, maybe 65 if you're with water, which hopefully I can manage it. But I think it's a good target to have your backpack at about 50 pounds for a 10-day trip. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll check in with you a little later on the trip and see how everything went. Okay, thanks for watching.